Tyson Fury knocks out Dillian Whyte in round 6 to retain his WBC world title belt. So, what are my thoughts of the fight? The fight started off pretty bizarre, very, very, very bizarre. Dillian came out looking very straight, straight up and down, plodding forward in a southpaw stance, coming at Tyson. You could see Tyson was a little bit confused and, couldn't quite understand what was going on, but they just kept taking a step back and was circling around Whyte, jabbing him. He took one or two jabs to the body. I think Dillian landed a hook to the body as well, but overall I think Tyson got the better of that round because he was just jabbing Whyte and constantly landing in his head and started landing in the body as well. So round 2 starts, Tyson comes out, he comes out southpaw for like 30, 40, 50 seconds, something like that, just to try and change things up and be a bit bizarre, but I mean, he didn't stay like that for long. He went back to his orthodox stance and just started landing more significant punches, a couple of right hands. I think he threw a couple of lead hooks as well, and Whyte started getting a little bit more aggressive. Smashed a hook to Tyson's body and threw an absolute wild, massive swing. I think it was a left, a right. Sorry, can't even remember now. And Tyson just spun off, pulled away, and it must have missed by at least a foot. And and Dillian was leading out the ropes for a minute. Yeah, so I think round 3 came along, got a bit more wild again. Bit of clinching. I think Tyson started landing more lead hooks, and Dillian was still trying to find his way in, but he was just throwing a lot of the time, just throwing single shots. Jab to the body, hook, odd wild swing, and he was obviously trying to stagger himself and be a bit herky jerky, but just couldn't quite get in range. Tyson's legs were still super solid as he was dancing around the ring. Obviously not like back in the days against Klitschko or anything like that, but his legs, especially for the size of him, the weight of him, and the fact that he's getting on a little bit is unbelievable. But Dillian looked alright. He just wasn't quite doing enough. Round 4 that came in, it was just turned absolutely wild. There was a clash of heads. Dillian was throwing in the forearm. It looked like he was trying to push Tyson out of the ropes, and came in with an elbow, and so Dillian came away with a small cut to the eye, and I think Tyson had a big notch on his forehead where he'd been elbowed. You could see it in the post-fight press conference. There was like a big lump in the middle of his forehead, and then I don't know, a lot more wrestling, and Mark Lyson was having to read the riot act. A lot more wrestling, a lot of rabbit punches thrown in the corner between the two. And it looked like Shane Fury or someone behind him threw beer or sprayed water from squirted water at them. It was but anyway, yeah. I think round 5 came. I think Tyson at this point was clearly taking control. I think Dillian wasn't really landing that much. He was getting a little bit more desperate, getting a little bit tired. I think Tyson was landing a couple of hooks to the body. Dillian landed a couple of his own. And I think, I think it was, I can't remember what, it was like a jab or a straight that wobbled Dillian, buckled his knees for a moment, and the round was over. The 6, I think Tyson was fully in control. Dillian's hands were dropping, and he was squaring up a little bit. his feet didn't look too square, but his shoulders were like almost in front of him at this point. I think he was just feeling the pace a little bit, and yeah, he came in. I think there was like 10 seconds left in the clock. Tyson Fury threw an uppercut, gave him a little nudge to try and, create a little bit of distance. Maybe he didn't realise how hurt Dillian was, but Dillian went flat on his back and just about got to his feet. But as soon as Mark Lyson said, walk towards me, he stumbled into the ropes and the fight was called off. And that's all she wrote. So, punch perfect performance from Tyson Fury. I did think, since there were so many people thought Dillian was going to knock him out, I think there was a part of me that thought maybe Tyson was going to get complacent and maybe get dropped or hurt in the fight, but that never happened. He took a few punches to the body, but barely anything to the head. The odd jab I think was landed by Dillian Whyte in the fight to Fury's nut, but apart from that, it was all plain sailing. But yeah, let's hope Tyson Fury doesn't pack his bags and disappear into the sunset, and let's hope we can get some more good fights out of him. In my opinion, I think Tyson's a very good heavyweight champion, but to go down as one of the greatest, certainly not the hardest puncher in his era, like you said, but I would say I would like to see him at least fight Usyk and Joshua. I'd also like to see him fight like maybe Hrgovic, Joyce, Parker. I doubt he will fight Parker though, but I'd like to see those fights before he before he packs his bags. But at this point though, it's he's earned so much money that maybe he just doesn't want it anymore. I don't know, but let's hope he doesn't retire, because he's still got a lot of talent there, as we can see. I hope Dillian's alright, and I want to see them both back in the ring. Love these guys. Cheers. Remember to comment, like, subscribe. Your thoughts of the fight, put them in the comments below.